Welcome to Water into Wine, a podcast with Father Charleston Wilson, rector at Church of the Redeemer in Sarasota, Florida. I'm Greer Ferguson, the communications director at the church. Father Charleston is a priest, husband, father of two, Anglophile, sock enthusiast, Motown fanatic, and proud native of Linden, Alabama. Oh, and a wine connoisseur. We're sitting down to chat with him about how to invite more grace into your life, how to develop a deeper relationship with God, and how to enjoy a great glass of wine. We're meeting at the intersection of music, faith, wine, and a good helping of modern cultural references. Put it all together, and we're telling the story of God's love and bringing it to life in a fresh way. Join us right here for casual conversations with your spiritual sommelier. Today, we are talking about the nighttime, and we're opening a bottle of wine to start the conversation. What are we drinking today?
I feel like we need a drum roll. She's a grand old flag. She's a high-flying flag. Happy 250th USA. And I hope this makes sense in a few minutes why I've just said happy 250 USA. Of course, it is the 250th anniversary as we drink this 2022 Stag's Leap Cellars Artemis Cabernet Sauvignon, which is retails probably $50 to $70. But hey, your country only turns 250 once, and chances are you might not be here on the 300th. But for the first 200 years of our nation's history, it is a fact that the wine world looked at America as basically a third world producer. Europe, specifically France, reigned supreme without question. We've talked, I think, before, Greer, about some things that really set America back. Phylloxera did also impact here. That's a vine louse. It was worse in Europe, but it did hurt us, and then Prohibition. So we've been playing catch-up. But in 1976, bear with me, dear listener, you will survive. I will survive. Exactly 200 years after the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Steve Spurrier, go Florida. Actually, it was not the coach. He was a British wine merchant named Steve Spurrier. He organized a tasting in Paris, and he arranged for all the top French judges to come together to taste what he believed were the best from Bordeaux and Burgundy, France, and he actually slipped in some upstart wines from a place called California. And in a shocking upset that shattered the wine world forever, a California wine won the red category, Stag's Leap Wine Cellars, by Warren. The winemaker is very, very famous, Warren Winiarski. He was also Robert Mondavi's first winemaker. Great story. He moved from Chicago after he got a PhD in something that he hated. PhD also stands for piled high and deep. And he hated it. And he said, I'm going to go to California and make wine better than it's ever been done. And they laughed and laughed. But in 1976, on the bicentennial of our nation, the joke was on them. The judgment of Paris, as it's known, proved to the whole world, that American wine could actually compete and even beat the best. And so that's what we're doing with a little nod to our 250 by going back to our 200 in this quintessential Napa Valley Cabernet. God bless America.
So this is the 50th anniversary now of that
Yes.
Blind tasting.
Correct.
Cool. That's exciting. Are they planning another wine event for
There
250th?
are tons going on right now
Because
actually just 2 weeks ago was the actual date of the Judgment of Paris.
Wow.
And so in my inbox, because I might be signed up for one or two wine things,
Maybe.
there's lots of come join us for this and this.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Cool.
We recreated it. I was invited to be on the panel that recreated it I think it was in 2010. And we did it in Half Moon Bay, California. And George Tabor came and narrated it and led the tasting.
Wow.
And we drank the wines that they drank.
Yeah.
The reds, the whites had gone off. They're too old.
And did it have the same result?
No, we were divided,
Oh.
actually. The
Mhm.
room was divided. It was split.
What was your take?
I thought with the time that had passed in 2010, I thought the French wines had pulled through a little better.
Okay. All right.
But I was only half.
Yeah.
The other half of the room thought otherwise.
Otherwise.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we give this a taste?
Oh, I'd love to do that. Let's
Okay.
go for it.
All right. Swirling
Swirling,
time.
smelling.
Swirling and smelling time. It swirls well.
Look how purple it is.
Yeah, it's a pretty color. Ooh, it smells really good.
Mm-hmm. Dark plums. Plummy.
Mm-hmm.
Concentrated, smelly, raspberry, little strawberry.
Wait, I need to get the wine wheel out.
Yep. Well, we have a wine wheel. You can't see, but a wine wheel, not like a wheel for a wheelbarrow, but it helps us and gives us descriptions.
So this wheel has a section for fruit.
Big wheel, keep on turning.
And then within that, a section for orchard fruit.
Mm.
And it mentions cherry.
Yep. Have you tasted yours?
No, I'm still looking at the wine wheel.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still researching. All right, I'll taste. Oh, very nice.
Don't call me crazy, but it's like lavender and potpourri. It's good. I mean, this is very good, but
You taste those and
I do. I taste lavender and a little black currant, probably.
yeah,
Some dried herbs, actually.
prune.
It's nice. Yes, I got that. No, it's a nice wine.
Yeah.
This would, and it's juicy, blackberry.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the tannin comes through as a little bit of like cocoa powder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, the Hershey's cocoa powder that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Stag's Leap is known as sort of a iron fist and a velvet glove is a very familiar way of describing this wine.
What does that mean?
So it's got the strong backbone, but as it opens up, it has a softness to it,
Oh,
a savory character that's
okay.
it's silky smooth. But it's a big age worthy. You could keep this wine for several decades, and it will continue to evolve. Supple, yet round.
So why this wine for our episode about the nighttime?
Well, you asked me that, and I kind of went on a tirade about the 250th anniversary of the U.S. and then the 50th anniversary of Judgment of Paris. But the real reason I tied this with nighttime is because at this winery in Napa Valley, in the Stag's Leap district, I have my map book out, folks. Nap time. There's something called the Stag's Leap Palisades, which is this huge, and I've printed a picture, which is so helpful since we don't have a camera, dear listeners.
Audio only photograph.
I have a photograph in color of the daytime of this big rock cliff that sits right by the vineyard, and the sun is heating it up, and you can see it. And during the day, it just cooks this vineyard. And at night, the temperature drops really quickly, and the rock ends up being like a refrigerator at night. And that's when the grapes actually do most of the metabolizing and growing and learning and evolving.
At night.
At night. So that's why I picked that. So
get
the
it.
nighttime is very important
It's very
for Stag's Leap.
Okay.
It's not a time just to say, okay, the grapes just don't sit there and do nothing at night.
Yeah, they're not hibernating.
They're not. That's when they're actually doing most of their metabolizing and development is at night.
Okay, interesting.
And at the end of the day, I have a theory that there are 4 types of people. And I don't mean rich or poor. I mean, at the end of the day, human beings either load a dishwasher like a Scandinavian architect or a raccoon on crystal meth. And they are also divided this way. You are either a night owl or a morning person.
Yeah. And which are
An
you?
early bird versus the night owl.
Yeah.
I am a night owl unapologetically.
And a raccoon or
Raccoon.
Scandinavian architect?
Raccoon night owl.
Okay.
You're the Scandinavian architect night owl?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I guessed right.
I think you should trademark this and have this be like a personality.
It
test
really should
people
be.
could
It
take.
should be. Yeah. Job interview question.
Every workplace should do this
I
instead of
agree.
Myers-Briggs.
Totally. This is the new Myers-Briggs.
I'm a raccoon night owl. I'm an architect night owl.
Yeah, you really are.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yes, I mean, judging by the emails I've gotten from you at 2 a.m., I
Yes.
would agree that you were a night owl, and the raccoon part makes sense too, so So today we are going to talk about what happens at night, what the darkness reveals about God and about us, and how nighttime can bring us closer to God. So you think God is a night owl too?
I do. I think I'm just laying all my cards out here, and I'm not just trying to self-justify. I really think that we have, as Christians, perhaps overplayed the light metaphor
Yeah.
with God.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe to the and I do it. I mean, I think I've preached to every Easter using the light metaphor because it's a
Mm-hmm.
layup, right?
Mm-hmm. It's not a
It,
bad metaphor.
it's a great metaphor. Thank you. That needs to be said. It really does. Thank you. But I think we've at this point maybe overplayed it.
Yeah.
And when you overplay it, you forget the work of God at night, not just biblically, but in the biblical narrative, but also in our lives at night, not as a metaphor, but literally at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, of course, that great 20th century theologian Neil Diamond. Thank the Lord for the nighttime. Forget the day. Didn't he say a day of care? Um, and the night is different. And don't forget the night owls of the Bible. It's the middle of the night when Jacob wrestled with the angel and got his new name and then the new future. The great episode we call Nick at Night,
Mm-hmm.
Nicodemus, right? That happened in darkness. He sought out Jesus, that he was, and asked the questions under the cover of darkness that he was afraid to ask in the light. It was at midnight when Paul and Silas were singing in a dungeon, singing hymns. And of course, the Gospels tell us it was still in darkness that they reach an empty tomb. So God does not need to wait for the sun to come up to start a miracle. God does not need to take a nap. He works the night shift.
Mm.
He works the night shift because that's actually when our hearts tend to be most open, because the daytime is for toil very often.
We're focused on
Yes,
tasks.
yes, very
Yeah.
task oriented, and we may not be that focused on it. We had a lady grow up, I remember in Linden, Alabama, and you'd ask her, "Hey," you'd see her in Papa's IGA, and you'd always run the other direction because she was so frenetic. And you would say, "Hey, what are you doing?" She said, I don't know. I'm busy, busy, busy. Don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just busy." And that's sort of the daytime. So your daytime is more frenetic
Yeah.
energy, and nighttime is not.
Yeah.
Um, Musicians tend to get this, Midnight Train to Georgia, Gladys Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And you at midnight, that's your desire to just be somewhere else
Mm-hmm.
and have a different life, have a new hope, something beyond the day. And so, yeah, God is the original night owl.
I don't think people think of him like that, but it's an
No, I
interesting.
don't think so either. I think they think he's on break
Yeah.
at night, and he's doing his great work just like at Stag's Leap. Those grapes are metabolizing their very finest work
Hmm.
is being done while the world sleeps.
Hmm.
And so if it might be helpful if you find yourself just stuck awake, and you're staring at the ceiling or wandering the halls of your own mind and heart. Uh, don't see that as something that you need to rush through to get to the morning, to get to the office, to get more work done, to get the kids to school. If you're quiet enough to listen, God whispers the secrets of the universe in the middle of the night. When you stop doing, you can start being. We've talked about that on here before. Human doings versus human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And at night, God will show you that he never stops being. And that's why we say thank the Lord for the nighttime. Forget the day.
So how can we hear that better? How can we be better listeners at night?
Own it. Own the fact that the day has been frenetic. Lift up to God what is weighing on your heart. Ask God to be present in it. Ask God to give you his eternal eyes to look at whatever you're facing or whatever the day has thrown you as a chapter of your book, not the title of your book. ask God to remind you that your name is written in the book of life. And in fact, since I am a night owl, I will very often fall asleep in prayer,
Hmm.
and it's great.
Instead of counting sheep.
Correct.
Yeah.
Fall asleep in prayer.
Yeah.
Even the Bible talks about falling asleep in the Lord as a metaphor for death.
Hmm.
And not to be too fatalistic, but I can't think of anything better if you fell asleep in prayer and the Lord carried you home. What a wonderful way to wake up from that.
That makes me think of that song. Is it Bing Crosby? I fall asleep counting my blessings instead of
Yes, yes,
sheep.
yes, yeah. I don't know if that's Crosby. You're
I don't
probably
know.
right. But
Maybe
yeah, I
not.
know the song. I know
Yeah.
but it's something. Yeah, that's a good point.
So we kind of, instead of fighting the ability to, or the inability to fall asleep, we kind of lean into it more.
Yeah, own it, because that's when you'll hear the still small voice. That's when it gets a chance to be heard. Um, that's when you can really hear it. Otherwise, when all the light is on and all the activity is taking place, it's hard to hear God. It's hard to contemplate the hand of God. Think of all the amazing tasks you do on a daily basis, Greer. You do a lot of things.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, well, you do a lot of things. I see that. I see the work product of it. It takes a lot of work.
Thank you.
And it would be very easy, like Martha in the famous story, to get lost and miss the point of that. And nighttime is a time you can really become more like Mary
Mm.
and do the one thing needful.
Yeah.
You're not going to be distracted by so many things
Yeah.
because the light is not pouring on it.
Mm.
It's not abnormal. I'm at my computer at 2 a.m., but most of the world is not
Mm-hmm.
because they think that's not the time you have to be there.
Yeah, that's not normal.
No, I'm not saying that's normal, but that's also when you can get interruption-free work
Yeah.
done.
Right. Yeah, no, I do the same thing sometimes. It is kind of a um, secret to getting a lot done
Right.
sometimes, because you can just keep going
Mhm.
without people texting and calling and emailing. And so can we
I'm
go?
not ignoring you and continuing to try this while
It
you're
seems as though you
explaining, but
might be.
I just wanted to see this as it was opening up.
So, if we can go back to Mary and Martha for a second.
Yes.
So you're saying, I've always thought with that story we were being told, like, be this, don't be this. But you're saying we can be both, just at different times.
Yeah, I think you have to have someone pointed that out one time when I was talking about overemphasizing a metaphor. We've often overplayed both of those characters.
Yeah.
You need both.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
As Ecclesiastes says, there's a time for everything.
Right.
And the Bible's full of these tensions. Somebody was telling me the other day he wanted to give anonymously because Jesus says, give in secret and your Father will reward you in secret.
Mm-hmm.
Da 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 da. I said, this is somebody that really actually needed to give publicly because it would help inspire others of us to give.
Yeah.
And I was trying to encourage him of that, and he quoted the Bible, and I said, well, let me give you also another perspective. Jesus said, let your light shine before men so that they may glorify God who is in heaven. So I said, can you see there's a tension? I said, very often the people who want to give anonymously need to give up publicly. People who have a big need to give publicly oftentimes, frankly, need to give anonymously.
Yeah.
And so that tension exists, of course, with Mary and Martha.
Yeah.
You can't have, the trains and planes need to run on time, don't
Right.
they?
Yeah. Nothing
You
would
can't
get done.
be a monk in Tibet and just stare at the wall all day. Somebody's got to cook breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I've always kind of struggled with that story. So.
There's a time for everything.
Yeah.
But nighttime, speaking of time for everything, nighttime is the Mary time to sit at the feet of Jesus with no distractions.
And that doesn't mean watch Netflix.
No, not necessarily, but hey, there's some great Netflix shows out there. It's called The Midwife on Netflix, about the Anglican nuns and...
Yeah, I've seen Call the Midwife. I think it is on Netflix.
That's wonderful,
now.
wonderful.
Yeah, it is a great show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah. And it's
They're
featured
still existing.
It's featured in the latest issue of the Anglican Digest.
Oh, good. Well, you'd think I would have read it, but I haven't. It's sitting on my desk.
Yeah, there's a...
I'm busy reading wine maps at night.
Yeah.
There's no time to read about the sisters.
Yeah, it's a nice little piece about a woman who had a letter from the priest, or a priest, that's mentioned in the book.
Neat.
On that the series is based on. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a great show.
I'll read it.
You'll read the publication that you are the... What is their title?
Oh, I don't know. Some church titles are the worst, and then some grand blah 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 blah. chief cook and bottle washer.
Now it's time for a listener question, and this is a two-part question. Is there something you wish every parishioner would do aside from making a yearly annual pledge?
That is something I wish every parishioner would do, yes.
The second part is, what's the one thing you wish your parishioners would stop doing
Okay.
that you
Be-
can say on a podcast?
Be careful, Mr. Bond. Be careful, Mr. Bond. This may be your last, quote, Goldfinger. How you answer this? Yes. Something I wish every parishioner would do. This is a layup in many ways, but it's not a joke. I wish people would be more intentional about their prayer lives. And I wish parishioners would turn to their church family in good times and bad times. I really do.
What do you mean about in good times?
In good times, tell us that your daughter graduated and got a scholarship, or your third grandchild was born. Let us celebrate in that joy with you and for you, and let's celebrate together. In bad times, let's take part of that too. We're one body, and we sometimes describe that as the happy burden of being in communion with one another. And it's so painful to me when I run into someone and I will, say, "Hey, how are you?" And how's Jack? Fake name. How's Jack? Well, we got a divorce. And I am just crushed. Not that I may have been able to save the marriage, but I'm just crushed that never was the church asked to pray. Never did they go to another neighbor that's a part of the body of Christ. And it's really the deeper part of our faith that is just so life-giving. And so I really wish we all would take that on more seriously. It's not oversharing. As St. Paul says, this is what it's like to, the hand can't look at the foot and say, I have no need of you. We're one body, many parts, to quote Paul. So I wish we would do that.
And the prayer, being more intentional about your prayer life as a parishioner. What do you mean by intentional? Just more?
That's a great question,
Right.
because most of us, particularly extreme extroverts like me,
You're an extrovert?
it's shocking, isn't it? When you say prayer, yeah, it's so bad. Sometimes I'm so extroverted. My wife, Malaysia, towards the end of the day will say, Charleston. And she'll just look at me and kind of hold her hand up and go, you're getting really close to your word limit for today.
I love that.
Yeah, it's just you're really close. So then I have to be really quiet and only say important things like, I can't find the mayonnaise, or, I have to really save up my petitions.
Right.
But most of us here pray more and we hear talk more. That's not what I mean.
Okay.
In fact, I actually mean be still and quiet before God more.
Okay.
Just sit down or lie down if you need to. You don't have to be overly pious on a kneeler with an icon, which is great if that's your way. And invite God's presence, which is already with you by his very Spirit. Acknowledge that presence and be quiet and listen to what the Lord is saying. That's what I wish we would do more.
All right, and what do you want parishioners to stop doing?
I thought I'd maybe eaten up enough time and didn't have to answer
that I
this
might
part.
forget about that second part.
Like a lot of churches, I think church is a little too comfortable. I think some of what I would call almost cruise ship complaining. I think sometimes we're all guilty as Christians of thinking that we're on the Love Boat and the buffet is, the lobster on the buffet is not really to my liking. And so that gets expressed. And that's just a consumeristic sort of thing we all suffer from.
You mean like little complaints?
Oh, tiny complaints of, I didn't like that hymn, or really it may be about the buffet. I didn't like so-and-so.
Or the pie we served at the
right.
reception.
I like the pie from 1964. That one's so much better. I think we could all do a little better of that.
Yeah.
Actually, Jackie Overton, our wonderful youth director and coordinator for our wonderful outreach, she was telling me that it's all the children's sports teams now, they have a rule. I think this is wonderful, that you cannot complain about the match that your child just played in for 24 hours.
Yeah.
You have to sit on it for 24 hours and then discern whether or not, as Malaysia likes to say, is it helpful or hurtful?
Yeah.
And I think, honestly,
smart.
as a church, and I put myself in the same category as everyone else,
Mhm.
we're a little too comfy. We sometimes act like this is a cruise ship.
Mhm.
It's a battleship where we all have a station and a
Mm.
role to play.
Mm.
And if we're spending too much time looking in the window, well, shame on us. We need to be looking out. So that's about as honest as I can get
Yeah, I like it.
without stepping on any toes and being accurate and honest.
Very good. Thank you. And if you have a question for Father Charleston, you can email it to us at podcast@redeemersarasota.org, and we might ask it on the next episode. And Father Charleston, do you have any final tasting notes to share about today's wine or any final takeaways about what we've been talking about?
I do. Have you ever known a priest that didn't want to have the last word? I mean, of course, I have a final takeaway.
None that I've met so far.
Yep, of course, I want the last word. I actually want to say something about food with this because we didn't say it earlier,
Oh,
but
that's right.
this is begging for a grilled ribeye.
Okay.
This
Well, I
would.
happen to have one right here.
Oh, I wish you did. That was so mean. You do look like you're moving something
your
over there.
eyes
I
lit
thought
up
you were
for
like,
a second.
wow, that is so incredible. It would a little bit of rosemary on it and garlic would be
Oh,
nice too.
yeah.
This would be nice with grilled lamb. You're hearing a theme here, grilled meats. This is crying out for grilled meats. I don't eat a ton of venison, but boy, when I grew up in Alabama, we did. So we killed a lot of what we ate. And there are a lot of deer. They're just like pests there. The shrimp of Alabama, they're just everywhere.
Mashed potatoes?
I could go with mashed potatoes with this.
Okay.
Yes. Soft cheeses, I could go with this. You could do duck breast with this. Any earthy is nice, would be nice with this. That would be a complimentary pairing. Earthy, like mushrooms and things you would, mushroom risotto maybe.
Mm.
There's a little hack, pro tip incoming.
We need a sound effect
That
for
we
that.
see on pro tip. And it's, we say in wine often, we will say, if it grows together, it goes together.
Oh, interesting.
And actually in that valley, in Napa Valley, they could actually grow some wonderful forest floor sort of things, herbs and mushrooms.
Oh, nice.
If it grows together, it goes together.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my final on that. And don't fear the nighttime. This wine was made perfect, to use a biblical metaphor, during the night hours.
Thanks so much for joining us for Water into Wine with Father Charleston Wilson. We're looking forward to sharing more grace, more music, and more wine with you again soon. If you liked what you heard, follow the show on your favorite podcast platform. And if there's someone in your life, maybe a friend or a colleague or a family member, who might like to hear this episode, please share it with them. Water into Wine is produced by Church of the Redeemer in Sarasota, Florida. Audio engineering by Reed Corley of the Corley Company. Join us for our services, in person or via our live stream. And learn more at redeemersarasota.org/podcast. That's redeemersarasota.org/podcast.